Hey y'all, I'm Dan, and this is Kinfolk, Stories of Community and Connection. This week, I'm sitting down with Mark Covey, the creator and host of Mountain State Mysteries and co-founder of Appalachian Ghost Tours. Mark is a true crime enthusiast with a deep passion for uncovering West Virginia's mysteries and haunted history. In this episode, we explore everything from his podcast origins to the eerie tales that keep him hooked. Let's dive in. Hey Mark, welcome to Kinfolk, Stories of Community and Connection. Thanks so much for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff today, so I hope you're ready.
Oh, born ready.
So before we do dive fully into everything, I did give a brief introduction in the intro, but just for listeners and if people are watching, I like you to give you in a nutshell. So if you want to just give us, Mark in a nutshell, who you are and what you do.
I'm Mark. I'm the creator and host of Mountain State Mysteries. I am basically true crime obsessed, especially West Virginia true crime.
So I don't know if I fully, when people say like true crime, I know it sounds like a literal meaning, but like when somebody says true crime, what are they meaning?
Basically just like documentaries, cold cases, books. There's some games like Nancy Drew.
When did your love for true crime start?
Well, ironically, the house my grandparents bought, someone was murdered in their backyard.
Oh, Lord.
So I've always heard stories about that. Then growing up, there was always missing posters. So I would always see those. And when I got older, I, was curious. I would Google things. And I think I just became obsessed with wanting to know every single answer to every single question.
So it's not that I'm not like a true crime person or like an unsolved person, but I'm the kind of person who needs like a satisfying, like happy ending. Like I can't do cliffhangers or anything like that. My thing would be is I would lay awake at night thinking of every single like either possibility or like maybe what happened or like try to solve it like all the time. So I guess like how do you balance that?
I'm always thinking of cases, even our first case, Nellie Rand and Elmer Ray Bailey. Me and my co-host Courtney, we still talk about to this day, and it's been 2 years. There's so many. Like I can name off a case and basically tell you every single detail about it, and my theories with it. So my brain like never turns off when it comes to that.
I don't want to be like the person because I hate when people do this when like you like something just because you like it and they're like, well, if you like it so much, maybe you should, go into it as like a job or something like that. Would you ever want to do, I don't know, like anything like that or?
I have thought about it, but then I think I would have to start as a cop, and I'm just not cut out for that.
Me, same. I feel you there. So with West Virginia, Mountain State Mysteries, is there, I guess, like a lot more like unsolved, like true crime, like mystery stuff than I guess people realize, if that makes sense?
There is. What really got us started in this is I will listen to any podcast out there, and I started to notice that a lot of West Virginia cases weren't being told. I mean, like one of the serial killers that was one of the first serial killers was from Clarksburg. We're like, well, we could do it. So give it a shot. And I mean, we're almost to year 3 and we're not stopping anytime soon.
The one in Clarksburg, and correct me if I'm wrong, was that like the one about, I think they built like the highway or something over it, or maybe like it was like a farm or something and he killed the
Yeah,
boy, I think, or something like that.
it's just tore down and it's just like a field now.
Oh,
Because
okay.
we actually went to the Clarksburg History Museum and we got to like see all the old newspapers,
Oh,
artifacts
cool.
from his house, like a paperweight and just random stuff. I think it's just a field right now, like across from a gas station.
Mm. It would make a great day trip. I'll take a trip in.
I mean, it would. It's a good trip.
Do you ever get like scared or paranoid? I'm
There
just a
was only one,
chicken, so I mean,
not really. Some locations we don't get out of our vehicle because we do like to visit locations. We will go to graves and, pay our respects and all that. So sometimes graveyards can be sketchy if you go there towards night, which is usually what we do. But not really.
have you ever had, I guess, like any places where people have asked you to leave or like they don't want you there?
No, I always turn around before they realize I'm there.
So I guess like what do you, if you do happen to see somebody, do you kind of just let them know like, hey, I'm here for investigative purposes?
Yeah, yeah. We really don't go to residents.
Right.
We just let people know, why we're there, and they're like, have at it.
So another thing that, and if this isn't okay to talk about, we don't have to. You also do ghost tours, right?
Yeah,
Is that okay to talk about?
100%. Yeah.
So walk me through, it's Appalachian Ghost Tours, right?
Yes.
Okay. Talk to me about that.
Me and my friends, we kind of got together through another ghost tour company, and we were doing things on our own, and we're like, this is too good not to start up our own thing. We started at the Mayberry Mansion in, I believe it's Switchback, West Virginia, and ironically, it had three murders there in 1998,
Oh, Lord.
Valentine's Day. That has been some of the best activity we have ever received. Like, we were there actually last Saturday. There was shadows on the walls. There was like random lights, orbs. It was insane. And we were the only four in the mansion at the time. So it was insane.
The second that I even get any activity, I'm out.
Not all of it's bad.
I was going to ask, are there any stories of like, instead of like scary, fear, spooky, are there any like good ghost stories that you know of? I guess either locally or just in general of like maybe like protectors or guardians or something like that. Or maybe not even that, but just like good ghost stories.
Well, you have, of course, one of the best in the state is Zona Heaster, the Greenberg ghost. She helped her mother solve her own murder, which I think is absolutely amazing. And then you have Mamie Thurman, which I have no idea if you know anything about Mamie. She was murdered, and they say you can see her ghost like walking the road, which is 22 Mine Road in Logan. And if you put your car in neutral, she will push you back up the hill to help solve her case. I'm ready to go to Logan right now. I just need to be a little warmer.
Well, pack your bags and you'll pass me on the way, so pick me up.
Okay. What's crazy about this just popped into my head. My family went to the flea market they always have at the fairgrounds in Lewisburg. My grandmother bought a couch that was originally in Zona's house.
I mean,
And a beautiful couch. I'll send you a picture of it later.
yes, please.
And it's now at my cousin's house in Chicago. And she has a picture of Zona next to it.
That's actually a really cool, like, conversation piece too.
It really is. And it's a comfortable couch. Like, it's absolutely amazing. Um, so yeah.
In your opinion, what would you say would be the most, like, famously haunted West Virginia spot? And I guess what would be, like, more lesser known that people should know about?
Lesser known. It's on the list of haunted places, but the Glen Ferris Inn in Glen Ferris.
I've driven past that so many times.
It's beautiful. If you ever stay there, the food is absolutely amazing. So, like, you need to stop there and eat one day. The King Suite, it's the one that you get the balcony. Beautiful, amazing bed. Presidents have actually stayed there. Don't ask me their names because I forget. I want to say it's like six of them. They have pictures of them in the lobby. And we were there on New Year's Eve. We were getting a lot of activity, and we would ask, the president's names, and like things would go off and all this. Then around 3 a.m., we decided, oh, let's go sit in the sunroom. We shut the door. The door handle just turned and the door to the sunroom opened. And no one was there.
It's wild.
It really is.
Like, what devices or technology or anything are you using for like this activity?
We have EMF detectors, which it has little lights on it. It will go from green to red if there's electromagnetic fields near it. Like you can put your phone up next to it. It will light up, but if there's no electronics around it, nothing will light it up, but you'll get like random flashes. Then there's REM pods. It's basically the same thing, but it will make a really loud noise. You can just sit it anywhere and you'll just hear the noise. And then we have laser grids. There's infrared detectors. So basically anything you see on TV, we use.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's, when we were at the Maybeury Mansion, it was early into Sunday morning. We were all in the dining room, and like I said, we were the only four in the house, and you could hear like footsteps and talking, coughing, all of that. And I was actually doing an interview for Mountain State Mysteries there that day. We had to stop at one point because you heard like someone running upstairs.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, we were literally the only six in the place.
I'd be out.
Trust me, it's not bad.
I just, I don't know. Like, I mean, because if the ghost is wanting to throw hands, what can you really do?
I mean, so far we haven't ran into anything like that.
I know it's probably, and I'm a believer. I do believe in ghosts. There's been so many things that have happened in my life that
Mhm.
there's I am a believer. I read like a little meme one time that said, like, either they can hurt you or they can't. And if they can, then you're now a ghost and it's on. So,
Probably.
like,
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you'll get a scratch here and there, but that's about it.
so I do want to go back to the ghost tours, Appalachian Ghost Tours.
Mhm.
How do you handle, I guess, like hecklers or kind of like more of the people who don't really believe?
To me, if you're there to believe. People just want to see something. They, I guess, want to see like poltergeist stuff and just like
Oh, yeah.
something just like be thrown across the room. Tori Spelling in Scary Movie 2.
Oh, God.
And I think they want stuff like that to happen, but they're not circus animals, so you can't just make them do stuff. So to me, I think just coming out and seeing if you get anything whatsoever is the best way to believe. And actually, Weston, it's possibly one of the best things I've ever caught in my life. My phone died. So I'm like, there's a ride down the road. I'm going to get a disposable camera. At the end of the tour, you're on the fourth floor, and I was the only one up there. Everyone else was walking down the steps. I got one of the weirdest pictures I've ever got in my life. It looks like a nurse in like the old ball gowns like the tour guides will wear. I'll have to send it to you after the interview.
For
Like
real,
it is
yeah.
insane.
Mhm. That's really cool, though. And I almost want to say that it's almost like pop culture, like movies and stuff, not so much have like ruined like the supernatural, but it's like you said, people do expect, like they want to see a chair floating or they want to hear a door
Yeah.
slam and it kind of like, to me at least, like with the unknown and stuff like that, I feel like there's always like this respect that I guess like however anybody believes, but like whatever's
Mhm.
tying that entity here, just like with nature or anything, I want to be as respectful as I can.
100%. And that's how we do it. I mean, even with the podcast, we do our research. We will go to the courthouse, get deed records. We will do absolutely everything in our power to have all of the research there. We will hand out pamphlets for someone to go through, look at. And we had one tour at the Price Mansion in Scarborough, and we had people tell us their stories, and they're like, the third floor is the scariest floor. And for some reason, it's the one floor I get creeped out on in the Price Mansion. Like it's so creepy, and I don't know why.
Do you have an
Um,
episode on it? I'll go and listen to it.
we don't, but I'm sure next time we do something, I'll send you a link and you can come out. But there's like 3 different entrances. There's like 2 different staircases. So, I mean, it's just creepy.
Wow.
It really is.
This is a kind of a general me question. And for any listeners who might want to get into ghost hunting or anything like that, do you have any beginner advice that you wish that you had before diving into your adventures?
Go into it open-minded. That to me is the best thing to do. Don't go in expecting activity or anything like that. Because, like I said, they're not circus animals. They're not going to perform when you say appear. I think you just have to go in open-minded.
That's good. And I agree with that. I mean, because it's almost like anything that you're starting out. If you go in with the expectation that, and not that it couldn't, but something's going to happen every single time. It's like you don't speak for the supernatural.
Right. Yeah.
Before we do move into the rapid fire questions, let listeners know where they can find you, where they can listen, where they can connect and all that.
Well, Mountain State Mysteries, you can find us on any podcast platform whatsoever, YouTube. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Mountain State Mysteries. Our website is mountainstatemysteriespodcast.com. Appalachian Ghost Tours, you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Appalachian Ghost Tours.
And I'll list those in the show notes. And for the listeners and watchers, Mark does a great job on his podcast, and I encourage you to go and listen.
Oh, thank you.
You're so welcome. I only have 3, but I do want to do the rapid fire questions. And these are just whatever first comes to mind. And then if you want to, you can elaborate.
Okay.
So first question is, do you have a favorite ghost story or mystery, like above all?
Right now, my favorite ghost story and mystery is the case of Mamie Thurman.
Question number 2 is, in your opinion, where would you say, based on the knowledge that you have, where is the most haunted place in West Virginia?
I want to say, from experiences and how many times I've been there, I want to say the Asylum, Trans-Allegheny.
All right, and last question is, I don't know if you already do this or not, like if you stay the night anywhere for ghost tours. Is there any place that you would never stay the night?
No, I think I'd stay anywhere.
Just all you need is a pillow and a blanket and you're content.
Yeah, as long as there's heat, pillow and a blanket, and running water, I'm good.
You said heat and running water. I'm going to tell a very quick story. When my parents were younger, I believe they were in Florida, and they owned this house, and it was like mega haunted. Like in the summertime, when they first looked at the house, this should have been like the first red flag. In one of the rooms, they thought there was black carpet because there were so many dead flies that it was black. And they could never, no matter what they did, they could not keep the flies out of that house.
Uh-huh.
Well, one night, my mom was downstairs and she was taking a bath. And she had like a candle at the foot of the tub and then like her radio. She said that she remembers feeling like this cold, just like presence or air, like go past her. And when it got to where, like it followed down her body, and when it got to where like the radio and the candle were, the radio like fizzed and like white noised, and then the candle went out. So I'm like, I would have been out immediately. Before we go, do you have any lasting advice or anything that you want to leave off on?
Just get lost in the mystery.
I think that's we're twinning right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I came up with that, and I'm like, it suits me so well because I love to get lost in any type of mystery.
I mean, why not? It's just there's just so much to the world that is not explained. Get lost in the mystery. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Kinfolk, Stories of Community and Connection. Mark's work on Mountain State Mysteries and Appalachian Ghost Tours sheds a unique light on the mysterious and haunted corners of West Virginia. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow and rate the show on your favorite podcast platform. It helps more folks discover these amazing stories. You can connect with me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook for more Appalachian adventures, and check out the show notes for links to connect with Mark and his projects. Before you go, do you have a favorite ghost story or something that's happened to you that you just can't explain? Head over to Instagram at Kinfolk Podcast Connect and let us know. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and as Mark says, get lost in the mystery. See y'all soon.